It might be something that you relate to, that you've experienced in your life, and it hits you and it's just so powerful, and you're just like, wow, someone else experienced this and I want that for you. So today I want to talk to you about your feminine essence and radiating femininity. I think a lot of women don't spend any time considering whether or not they're in their feminine energy. They wouldn't know whether or not they were attached or detached from it. They don't find this topic really that important at all. But I can't overemphasize how important it is to be aware of this, because you'll notice that when you start prioritizing that natural feminine way of being, that feminine essence, everything in your life just starts to unfold in a way that is much more graceful and with a lot more ease. I'll be in a call with a girlfriend who tends to be more in her masculine. We'll be talking about her extensive to-do list, and you can sense that anxiety. And if you're living your life that way, where you've got this long to-do list, you've got kids, you've got the house that needs to be tidied, you've got bills that need to be paid, and the list goes on and on. The list will always go on and on, but you have to decide how you're going to live your life. Are you going to live your life in this state where you're constantly lugging forward and there's always some burden that's holding you back? You know what happens though when you hold yourself back and you're in this overly stressful state? You are so detached from the experience of living that a moment doesn't feel like a long time to you. Have you ever tried a 5-minute meditation? I bet that was hard to get through, because 5 minutes can actually feel like a lifetime when you pause and focus. But when you're so busy, 5 minutes goes by in the blink of an eye. What if we could give yourself the perception of slowing down time by just being more present and in the moment? That in itself will help you attach to your feminine energy. And when you're attached to that, the way life unfolds and opens up for you is beautiful. Every experience, even the things that you aren't looking forward to, become much more enjoyable, because oftentimes you'll learn a lot through the journey of whatever it is that you need to execute on that's completely stressing you out. So let me give you a couple examples. So let's say you do need to do the laundry, and that's not something that you particularly enjoy. Well, you slot yourself some time to do it. You put on music that you enjoy. You come from a place of gratitude in doing the laundry. You go, I'm so grateful that I have clothes to wear. I'm so grateful that I have a machine that can wash it for me to make it that much easier. Yes, I have to go downstairs to go and get this laundry, but I'm grateful for the opportunity for exercise and to move my body. And I think we do some of our best thinking when we're doing those simple tasks. You can roll your eyes and scoff at this and continue to have this negative outlook on life, or you can teach yourself to push through and look for ways to be positive in every situation. Because if you can do that, you're going to be sitting in your body and not in your head, and you're going to enjoy things so much more. When is the last time you really paused to appreciate music and you got lost in every single note? That you listened to the words that were so poetic and powerful, and you allowed those words to really hit you and penetrate you, and allowed yourself to really be absorbed by the meaning of the lyrics. I mean, good music. None of this trashy music that encourages these promiscuous lifestyles, decadence, selfishness, instant gratification, or degeneracy. Music that really touched the soul. When was the last time you listened to that kind of music and allowed it to really take over you? Because I live so present in everything that I do that when I reflect on some poetic music and just poetry in a good book, I get so captivated. When is the last time you allowed yourself to do that? Do you see what I mean by life can become so rich when you take the opportunity to indulge in the beautiful sides of life and get out of your head and really embody all these beautiful things that are around you? When you were eating, when was the last time you weren't distracted by your TV show because you were slamming down a meal because it was the end of a work day, and so you're eating as quickly as possible because you have something else to do, or you're multitasking? It's even if you only have 10 minutes. Give yourself the gift of an undistracted 10 minutes to really enjoy the food that you're eating. You know what that will do for you? It's going to help you make healthier choices in the food that you're eating. It's going to help you appreciate every single bite, which then you won't overeat. We tend to overeat when we're distracted and we're just throwing the food back because you've got to go and now you're full and you feel lethargic and possibly unsatisfied, and it was just a detached experience and you're on to the next. Pause, eat slowly, enjoy the food, appreciate the journey. I can take something as simple as a grain of rice and think about the journey of that rice. You'll be very cautious about what you're putting in your body, and with proper nutrition, you're going to operate better. When is the last time you went out for a walk and were just very present in the moment and you weren't thinking about your big to-do list or everything else that's stressing you out? When was the time you took a walk and you appreciated the beauty of the world around you? When was the last time you did that? Truly, that you were so present in the moment that you felt the wind, your feet hitting the ground with every step. You heard and could feel every single breath. You appreciate the beauty of a flower. You stop to smell the flower. I know this can all sound really corny, but this is for you. This is for you to live the richest life possible, the most present life possible, the most feminine life possible. I promise you, ladies, if you do all of this and your whole life gets reprogrammed back to the way that you're supposed to be, to undo the programming that you have been exposed to for your whole entire life, you are going to radiate this feminine energy and watch who that attracts and pulls into your life. Watch how your relationships change around you. Watch how much patience you cultivate. Watch how much better you're able to communicate. It is amazing, and it's such a great place to be. It will take time. You don't just wake up one day and go, okay, there's the clouds and there's the pavement, or you go, yum, this food, I can really taste the salt. It doesn't work like that. It does take some time because you're so used to being go, go, go. You're so used to being stressed out. You're so used to focusing on being a producer that you don't know how to be productive yet in your feminine. Even as I sit here filming, I'm so present in the moment that I don't have any distractions. The words, everything just wants to pour out. And I just want to give you everything that I have in order to help you get to a place where that you get these butterflies as you try to express yourself. But it's such a good feeling to feel everything, and you can have it too. I'm sure you're running into situations right now that you keep being disappointed, right? That feeling of disappointment because somebody let you down, or something didn't work out the way that you want it to work out. And you sit with this angst, and you know that angst just attacks the body, and this is how we get sick. But what if you tapped into your feminine energy and you were able to just go, you know what? Everything is going to work out. You still get up and you still do what you need to do, but you give yourself grace. You do it in a state of calm. And you know that everything has to happen with one step at a time, right? Brick by brick. You go after what it is that you need to go after, but you do it with a lot more ease. And you're gracious to yourself and you're gracious to others. So let's just say that call didn't come through when you wanted it to come through. Just sit back, just sink into it and go, I'm feeling stressed. Label your emotions. I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling disappointed, but if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Life continues to move forward. The earth continues to spin, right? You continue to exist. And then you start reminding yourself of all the things to be grateful for. And you realize that this thing is not that bad. Maybe you're single and you're starting to feel a little bit anxious about meeting somebody great. That anxiety that you bring on the dates, that anxiety that you bring into your life about finding someone amazing, it's going to reflect outwards. So it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're blocking your own blessing. So what if you just sunk back in and really appreciate yourself, learn to love yourself? Because imagine what kind of energy that would radiate when you love yourself and you do finally meet somebody who is amazing, and they can just feel that positivity shining off of you as you've opened up yourself to love's possibilities because you've learned how to attach to everything that's loving in this world, including yourself. You are a loving being. So sit in that energy. Let's say he doesn't text you back in the time frame that you dreamed up he should. What are you going to do? Stress out about it? Send him a mean text? Send him an angry text, an impatient text, a text that will further push him away? Or will you just decide for yourself, because you're so attached to how you're feeling, that, hey, this doesn't sit well with me and I don't think this is a great match, and you just gently move on? Everything that you do should be with grace. The way you talk, the way you move, the way you present yourself, the way you communicate. But that grace is not a persona. That grace is not an act. That grace is just your being, your essence. When is the last time that you were playful? We lose that. As we get older, we've been let down a few times. We have so much responsibility. We are so a product of this world. We start to lose our playfulness. I don't know. I didn't lose the playfulness. I don't know if that was immaturity or just my soul is a young soul, but I've always been silly and I find humor in everything. You know, that imagination, that childlike playfulness that we have, we suppress it. Why? Probably because we worry about what other people think. Probably because you're still so stuck up on your head thinking about the responsibilities and not in your body and allowing that free flowing nature to permeate through you. You're too busy adulting, let's say. But who made these rules that in order to be an adult, you had to take everything so seriously? Don't pretend like you don't have any responsibilities and things that need to get done, but where's the joy in life? Dance. I've said this before, I'll say it often, dance. I know that seems corny. When I say just turn on some music and dance in your living room, I know you're like, okay, I'm not doing that. That's so lame. But really, if you do it, come back and tell me. As women, if you turn on a song that you really love, that just gets you moving, it can be something sensual. It can be something upbeat. It can be something that have lyrics that really resonate with you and you move your body. I promise you, you will feel this sense of appreciation for your body, this connection to your body, and you'll go, why am I so hard on myself? You'll realize how amazing your body is, truly. Our bodies are incredible, what they're doing for us on a daily basis. And instead, as women, we feel self-conscious and we compare ourselves. And how do you treat your body? This body that works so hard for you every single day, how do you treat it? How do you nourish it? I mean, spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally. We take such good care of other things in our lives, right? But we often don't prioritize ourselves because we're so busy focusing outward. We forget to bring it back inward and take care of ourselves. You just have to think when you're on your deathbed and your life is flashing before your eyes and you're reflecting on how you lived your life and you're like, the years flew by. Will you have wished that you paused and slowed down and stretched out every moment? It will change the way that you give to yourself. That will ultimately change the way you give to others. When you listen to poetry, if you listen to someone who's got a great voice, if you can truly be in the moment, hear those words, let those words hit you in a really meaningful way, really understand the words and visualize what they're saying. Language is so powerful. I've been doing a lot of reading lately. If you want a reading list, join my community because I give reading recommendations all the time. And one of the great things for us ladies is reading really, really great poetry. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like poetry. It's just finding the right poetry. And it might be something that you relate to, that you've experienced in your life. But it's just so powerful. And you're just like, wow, someone else experienced this. All of this stuff is so transformative. When you're with your partner, when you're with your girlfriends, and you're able to be in the moment like this, so present, so tapped in, so appreciative of the time spent. Think about how rich that interaction will be. Think about how that type of energy ignites anybody. Even if you're a strong woman and you go on a date, let's say you're a producer type woman who is very ambitious, who tends to sit more in her masculine energy, and she is trying to dive into a more feminine, softer side of herself. And in that journey, she goes on a date with the guy and she's able to relax into that date a little bit. You know what ends up happening is that you'll find yourself blushing. And you'll find yourself feeling shy and a little bit more coy, and men find that endearing, but we as women also find that surrender very attractive. It's magnetic, and that polarity, that dance, it's just magic. So why do we deprive ourselves of this? Because we don't spend any time thinking about this. We are so programmed to be boss babes, but that doesn't present well when you're in the company of a man, because now you've got two masculines. You might as well be out for lunch with bros. That polarity isn't there, that attraction isn't there, that magnetism isn't there, and that harmony isn't there. This is all a dance. Can you flow with that dance of life? Can you be like water? Us women, we are emotional, and we're allowed to be emotional. And I encourage that emotion. I've always worn my heart on my sleeve. I cry at the drop of a hat, usually for anything that's really beautiful, tears. And I think it's important to be able to tap into that emotion. But on the flip side, even as a feminine woman, I think being able to not have your emotions run you is so important. That emotional forbearance can be cultivated in so many ways. You could try taking a cold shower. Taking a cold shower has allowed me to be very present. And when things are difficult for me to handle, the cold showers, it's a test to my mental fortitude and pushing through things that are uncomfortable. There's going to be a moment when you're like, I need to get out of this shower. It's too cold. It burns a little bit, or this is uncomfortable. And you push through that and you get to the other side and you're like, whoa, I could stay in here. And when you get to that place of being able to push through difficulties as you go through your day, you're able to get uncomfortable and push through discomfort. And pushing through discomfort is where that progress lies. Most people sit and live in their comfort zone. If you want exceptional results in life, you have to do things that are exceptional. You have to do things that the average person isn't willing to do. But in that, even with that, practicing that emotional fortitude and resilience, I'm able to sit in my feminine most of the time because I still give myself grace. I go, this is difficult, but I know I can get through it. Just practice ways to be a little bit more resilient, but also surrender to life and experience every moment in full. Once you start really appreciating the moment that is now, it's so beautiful. And imagine what would radiate from you when you can sit in this. If you can come from a place of being love, expressing love, and moving and acting in a loving way, it'll change your life. I know it's really hard to live like this when you've experienced hurt in your life in any way. Insert whatever type of relationship that's hurt you, family, dating, friendship. And so we become so guarded, but all that does is deteriorates the quality of life that you're living, and you allow those people to continue winning. When you can take your power back and choose to live differently, you can take your power back and go, I refuse to be a victim to my circumstances. I refuse to continue blaming others. And now I'm going to live the most rich life. But then you'll notice that it actually starts to bring in really positive relationships and opportunities open up for you. You have to try. You have to at least try, because what is the worst that could happen? Either everything stays the same or things get better, right? So give yourself that opportunity for things to get better. Reconnect with your feminine essence, deprogram everything that you've been taught. This will take a little bit of time for you to fully embody, because this will be a new habit. You've lived this one way for a really long time. So it's going to take some time to deprogram what you've been taught. That's the wonderful thing about attaching to your feminine essence, is that it's naturally who you are. And I'm so excited for any woman who's really on this journey, because no matter where you're at in your life, if you start to live this way, the enlightenment that is to come will be transformative. If you want your life to be rich and full, and like I said before, if you want to stretch the minute and you want to be attached to yourself, want to radiate femininity, you have to first be so connected to yourself in order to radiate that out, because it will be in every one of your cells and it will have no choice but to radiate out of you. You'll see, you'll experience it. Your body will feel different. You'll move differently. You'll communicate differently. Everything will make you tingle. Everything will make you feel shy and blush, because you're surrendering to the moments of life. It honestly is the most beautiful way of living. And the sooner you can start, the better for you. Our culture now is really lacking at these genders and these gender roles you see as everything is being flipped on its head. What does it mean to be a woman now? And the natural essence that we have. And the natural essence that we have is beautiful and powerful. And paired that with that masculine strength, it's so necessary. It's this harmony that we are diminishing, we're devaluing. I want more and more women to tap into their feminine energy, because what that does is it breeds more masculine men. Everybody becomes happier. Hit like, make sure you subscribe, share this video to another girlfriend who you notice is very stressed out a lot and may need a reminder on how to just exhale. If we can get more women in their feminine energy and tapping into that feminine essence, the better off we will all be.